The Israelites had grown to put their faith and hope and trust in material wealth. God in turn took it all away, to the point that they no longer had the things that they used to worship him with. In fact, people that had luxurious lifestyles no longer could live that way. Babies couldn't even eat because all the wealth was gone. This makes me wonder what would happen if the American church went through something similar. Today. Hey guys, this is Sean from Empty Church. It's really great to see you. I'm sorry you couldn't join us this Sunday, but if you stick around, I'll give you a recap of what we did. We make these videos to help you engage your faith on the 6 days between Sundays when the church buildings are empty. This is Empty Church as seen on Sunday. First up, Crystal's going to read us the verse of the week. It's Lamentations 4:1.
How the gold has grown dim, how the pure gold is changed. The holy stones lie scattered at the head of every street.
Now we move into a time of confession. Father, you've given us everything we have. In you we live, breathe, and have our being. Do not let us replace you with material wealth. Let us see you as our portion. Amen. Today, I'd like to talk about what I would like to call church privilege and our inability to see it. Empty Church, even as 4 people, has been very privileged to all the opportunities and technology that we have access to. We just up and bought a domain and purchased the website building website, and we have already had access to all sorts of computers and iPhones and all kinds of technology that allows us to do what we do week to week. Our small operation here isn't alone though. Churches all around the country have access to all sorts of things and are using those things to find the next big flashy thing to attract people. That's the problem with the American church. We've adopted this attraction model to draw people in, yet when there's a church down the street with something slightly flashier or slightly different, a better program, they just hop from church to church looking for the next flashy thing. Humanity seems to run in cycles where we start forgetting where everything comes from and we start putting things in place of God, and then God does things to bring us back to himself. And sometimes we don't like those things. I see a lot of similarities between the American church and the Israelites. No one thought that anyone would be able to come and invade Jerusalem. And yet we have Lamentations detailing what happened after people came and invaded Jerusalem. In a similar way, I think that no one can really foresee something bad happening to the American church. But I think we have the shudderings of just a future like that. Well, what do I mean? I mean, what happens when Christianity is no longer favorable in the eyes of the people? What happens when Christianity no longer has tax breaks? What happens when it's not the good thing to be a Christian? Those are the kinds of things I'm thinking of. In fact, many people point saying that Christianity, or at least churches, are in decline today. But yet, if they're in decline, how is Christianity and the churches so privileged still? And don't tell me they're not. churches have very nice buildings. It's still popular for political leaders to say that they're a Christian. People still say, God bless America. God is still on our money and in our Pledge of Allegiance. Christianity is very much still privileged in America, yet people aren't going to church anymore. If Christianity was outlawed in America or even slightly oppressed, how many people would still follow Jesus? Is Christianity merely yet another self-help program that people just pretend that there's a higher power? Or do they truly believe that Jesus did come and die for their sins? Would we as Christians be able to lament like the book of Lamentations does over what was going on with our people? Or would we merely start to say, well, that isn't what my God would do? Or would we even continue to believe in God at all? Many people don't know how to reconcile mass genocides within the Bible with their God of prosperity and love today. What if that was happening to them now? Would they still be able to love and serve the God they claim to believe in? Would we continue to worship God if all the wealth was taken away from the churches? We act like our church buildings are more like our temple shrines that we endow with tons of gold and trinkets and things like that. But what if our faith was more of a 24/7 faith? Like in Acts, where they broke bread house to house together. That's a place where wealth doesn't really matter as much. It's not some prestigious big building that we all but worship. But we're together learning. What if faith was something bigger than church? We talk about having a Jesus culture, but are we just merely appropriating his name for our own pleasures, rather than being transformed by the renewing of our minds on a daily basis? Can we legitimately say that we could worship God without all the shiny extras? Or are we just worshiping wealth? That's where I'm going to end the video today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you don't want to miss our videos, hit the subscribe button. And for more ways to engage your faith on the 6 days between Sundays, check out our website at www.empty.church. Again, I'm Sean, and I know it's not the same as being here, but you've just been to Empty Church as seen on Sunday. See you next week.